The DNA test is in my hand when she knocks. The envelope, heavy bond paper, corners sharp enough to cut, feels like it weighs more than it should. Like truth always does. I've been staring at it for 20 minutes, trying to decide if I'm ready. The knock answers for me. Through the peephole, I see her. 12 months, 365 days. She's thinner. Her hair's different. The confidence that used to radiate from her like heat. Gone. She shifts her weight, glances at Mrs. Chen's house across the street. The neighbor's curtain moves. Everyone on this block knows what she did. I open the door. She smiles like nothing happened. Like she didn't walk out on a Tuesday morning while the kids were at school. Like she didn't leave a printed note, not torn from a notebook, but printed, edited, chosen to hurt us clearly on the kitchen counter next to her wedding ring. Then she sees the envelope in my hand. Her smile fractures, just for a second. Then it's back, but wrong now, like a mask that doesn't quite fit anymore. "Can I come in?" she asks. I don't move. Behind me, I hear footsteps upstairs, small ones. Emma's 8 now. Jake just turned 6. Lily's 4, and she still asks every night if I'm going to be there when she wakes up. "The kids home?" She tries again. "What do you want?" Her eyes drop to the envelope again. She doesn't know what it is, not yet, but she will. "I need to talk to you," she says, "about us, about them." I think about the number I saw 3 days ago when I finally opened the results, the number that changed nothing and everything, but she doesn't get to know that yet, not here, not like this. I step aside, let her in. Mrs. Chen's curtain moves again. 12 months earlier, I woke up to silence. That should have been my first warning. 3 kids under 8 don't do silence. But I was tired. I'd worked late, finished a presentation, crawled into bed at midnight. She'd been asleep already, or pretending to be. The shower was dry, her toothbrush gone. I walked to the closet. Empty hangers swung like wind chimes in the air conditioning. Her suitcases, all 3, missing. The jewelry box, open, empty. The photographs from her side of the dresser, taken. I stood there in my boxers and yesterday's socks, trying to make my brain catch up to what my eyes were seeing. The kids. I ran downstairs. They were in the living room, already dressed for school. Emma had made cereal for Jake and Lily, milk everywhere. They were fine. They were safe. "Where's Mommy?" Lily asked. 4 years old. Her eyes, not my eyes, I'd always thought that but never said it out loud, were so wide and trusting. I found the note on the kitchen counter, next to her wedding ring, white gold, still warm, like it hadn't realized it was abandoned yet. "I need space. Don't contact me. I'll reach out when I'm ready. The kids will understand eventually." 14 words, no signature, not even her name. I picked up my phone, called her, straight to voicemail, texted, no response, called again, blocked. Emma came into the kitchen, saw the note in my hand. She's smart, my daughter, too smart sometimes. She looked at the ring, looked at me. "Is Mommy coming back?" she asked. "I don't know, sweetheart." "Are you leaving too?" I picked her up. She's 8, almost too big for this, but I needed to hold her. Jake and Lily crowded in, sensing something wrong in that animal way kids have. "I'm not going anywhere," I whispered into Emma's hair. "We don't leave." 3 hours later, I was scrolling through Instagram while the kids watched cartoons. My hands were shaking. I don't know what I was looking for. Proof it was real, maybe, or proof it wasn't. Her post appeared at 11:47 a.m., a photo of her and him, some guy I'd never seen before, his arm around her waist, her smile, the real one, the one she used to give me, aimed at the camera. The caption, "Finally free, finally me. New beginnings, sind no regrets." The note had said she needed space. Her Instagram post 3 hours later said otherwise. My brother-in-law, Marcus, came over that night after I put the kids to bed. He sat at my kitchen table, the same table where we'd eaten breakfast as a family that morning, where her wedding ring still sat because I couldn't bring myself to move it, and helped me log into our bank accounts. I hadn't checked in weeks. She handled the finances. That was our arrangement. I worked, she managed the house and the money and the kids' schedules. A partnership, or so I'd thought. Marcus scrolled through the statements. His jaw got tighter with each page. "How much?" I finally asked. $47,000. His voice was flat, angry for me because I was still too numb to feel it myself. "Withdrawn over the last 18 months, small amounts, 500 here, 1,000 there, never enough to trigger an alert." 18 months. I said it out loud to make it real. She's been planning this for 18 months. There's more. Marcus turned the laptop toward me. "Hotel receipts all over the city. Dates going back, 18 months. I thought about those dates. Business trips, she called them. Her mother being sick. Girls' weekends. Every lie had been so smooth, so practiced. Marcus kept digging. He's an IT guy, works in cybersecurity. Within an hour, he'd recovered deleted texts from the cloud backup I didn't know we had. Messages between her and him, hundreds of them. Can't wait to leave him. The kids will adjust. They're young. We'll have our own life, just us. And then 3 weeks before she left, I found an apartment, 2-bedroom. We won't need space for them. Marcus closed the laptop. You need a lawyer. I need to understand. I looked at the ring again. We have 3 kids. We've been together for 10 years. How do you just stop? He didn't have an answer. Neither did I. But the worst discovery wasn't the money. It was the photo album I found on her iPad 2 days later. The one she'd forgotten to take with her. The one labeled Our New Life. Pictures of apartments, furniture, paint swatches. A whole future, planned in detail, with no space for the family she was leaving behind. Day 30 of single fatherhood. I burned the eggs again. The calendar on my fridge looked like a war map. Color-coded chaos. Red for Emma's soccer, blue for Jake's therapy appointments. He'd stopped talking for 2 weeks after she left. Green for Lily's preschool. Yellow for my work deadlines. Purple for the custody lawyer consultations I couldn't afford but needed anyway. I used to be good at my job. Now I was the guy who left meetings early for school pickup. The guy who took calls in his car outside the pediatrician's office. The guy whose boss said, take all the time you need, in that tone that really meant, we're noting this in your file. Emma found me in the kitchen at 2 a.m. I was meal prepping for the week, badly, cutting sandwiches, packing snacks, trying to remember if Jake liked grapes or if it was Lily who liked grapes and Jake who liked carrots. Daddy, I turned. She was holding her journal, purple cover, worn at the corners. Her therapist had suggested she write down her feelings, draw them, get them out. Can't sleep, sweetheart. I had the dream again. The nightmare, the same one every night. Her mom driving away in a car and Emma running after her, but her legs won't move fast enough. I picked her up, she's getting so big, when did that happen, and carried her to the couch. She curled into me like she used to when she was Lily's age. Can I ask you something? She whispered. Anything. Are you going to leave too? 4 words. They rewired me, broke something and rebuilt it at the same time. Emma, look at me. I waited until her eyes met mine. I'm not going anywhere. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. You 3 are my whole world. Do you understand? My whole world. But Mommy left. I know. She said she loved us. I know. So how do I know you won't? Because we don't leave. I said it again, firmer this time. Let the words settle into her, into me. Your mom, she made her choice. I made mine, and I choose you. Every single day, I choose you. She fell asleep in my arms. I carried her upstairs, tucked her in next to Lily. They'd been sleeping in the same bed since the abandonment, afraid to be alone. Jake was in our room, in the spot where she used to sleep. I went back downstairs and opened Emma's journal. I shouldn't have. It was private, but I needed to know what I was failing to see. The first page, a drawing of our family, 4 people, her, Jake, Lily, me, a hole where the 5th person should be. The second page, a mom is someone who makes your lunch. Dad makes my lunch. A mom is someone who hugs you when you're scared. Dad hugs me. A mom is someone who stays. She'd crossed out the next part, scribbled over it so hard the pen had torn through the paper. I closed the journal, put it back exactly where I'd found it. Upstairs, Jake cried out in his sleep. I went to him. I always went to them. Day 43, Mrs. Chen from across the street knocked on my door with a casserole. Lasagna, she said. Extra cheese. Kids like cheese. I didn't know what to say. We'd lived on this block for 5 years. I'd waved at Mrs. Chen maybe a dozen times. Now she was handing me dinner. I can't. You can. She pushed the dish into my hands. Everyone needs help sometimes. You think you're the first man to raise kids alone? You're not. But you're the first one on this block doing it because... She stopped, shook her head. Just take the lasagna. She left before I could thank her properly. The lasagna was perfect. The kids ate seconds. We hadn't had a meal that good since before. The next day, Emma's teacher, Miss Rodriguez, stopped me after pickup. I wanted to talk about Emma's behavior. She started, and my heart sank. But then, she's doing remarkably well. Given the circumstances, you're doing something right. I'm not, though. I'm barely holding it together. You're here, Miss Rodriguez said simply. Every morning, every afternoon, you show up. That's not nothing. The school moms, the ones I used to avoid because I never knew what to say, started including me in the carpool schedule. Coach Sam extended Jake's soccer practice by 30 minutes twice a week so I could finish work calls. Mr. Peterson at the library started saving new picture books for Lily. Marcus became a daily presence. Uncle Marcus, the kids called him now. He'd show up after work, help with homework, stay for dinner. Never asked if I needed help. Just helped. You know what I'm learning? I told him one night after the kids were asleep. What's that? Family isn't who you're born to. Marcus looked up from the dishes he was washing, my dishes, in my kitchen, because he'd just shown up and started cleaning without being asked. No, he agreed. It's not. We didn't talk about her. Didn't need to. She'd made her choice. We were making ours. We don't leave. I said it to myself every morning when my alarm went off. Every night when I finally fell into bed. We don't leave. And slowly, so slowly I barely noticed at first, we stopped just surviving. We started living again. And then, 12 months after she left, she came back. I'm standing in my living room, our living room, except it's not ours anymore. It's just ours in the legal sense. And she's sitting on the edge of the couch like a guest, like someone who doesn't know where things are because she doesn't. Not anymore. The kids are upstairs. I heard Emma's door close when she saw her mother's car pull up. Jake and Lily are in their room, silent. That terrible, watchful silence kids get when the adults are about to explode. She's looking around. At the new curtains, Mrs. Chen helped me hang. At the photographs on the wall, me and the kids at the beach, at Jake's soccer game, Emma's birthday party. She's not in any of them. Can't be, wasn't there. Her suitcase is by the door. Empty, I notice. Not full. Empty. He kicked me out, she says finally. I don't ask who, I know who. I had nowhere else to go. I wait. There's more coming. There's always more. I made a mistake. Her voice cracks. Practiced, I think. She's had time to rehearse this. I was confused. I wasn't thinking clearly. She reaches into her purse, pulls out a prescription bottle. I've been sick. Depression, anxiety. The doctor said it affected my judgment. I look at the bottle. The label's pristine. Too pristine, like it's never been opened. I want to come home, she says. I want to be a family again. A family? I'm their mother. She says it like it's a trump card, the ultimate argument. They need me. I think about Emma's journal. A mom is someone who stays. I think about Jake, who stopped talking for 2 weeks. Lily, who asks every single night if I'm going to be there in the morning. 365 days of showing up, of being there, of being enough. You left, I say quietly. You printed out a note. You took $47,000 from our account. You posted about your new life 3 hours after walking out on your kids. I was sick. You were planning it for 18 months. She goes still. She didn't know I knew that. I have rights, she says, and there it is. The real reason she's here. Legally, I have rights to see my children. You have the right to petition for supervised visitation, I correct. After abandonment, that's what the lawyer said. Supervised. Maybe in 6 months, maybe never. You can't keep them from me. I look at her, really look at her, this woman I built a life with, shared a bed with, made children with, and I realize I don't know her. Maybe I never did. I'm their mother, she says again, and I think, are you? I didn't tell Marcus about the visit right away. I needed to sit with it first, process it. But 3 days later, I found myself in Dr. Kim's office, the therapist I'd started seeing when Emma's nightmares got too frequent for me to handle alone. She wants custody, I said. Dr. Kim nodded, waited. She's good at waiting. And I keep thinking about... I stopped. Started again. There's something I've never told anyone. The secret doubt. The one I'd shoved down so deep I'd almost convinced myself it wasn't real. Lily doesn't look like me, I said. I know looks don't mean everything, but her eyes, her blood type. When she was born, the hospital bracelet said, O negative. I'm A positive. Her mother's A positive. That's not genetically possible, Dr. Kim said gently. I know. My voice came out rough. I've known since the day she was born, and I told myself it was a mistake, a hospital error. Happens all the time, right? Wrong bracelet, wrong label. But then she got older and she looked nothing like me. Nothing like Emma or Jake, and I kept telling myself it didn't matter because she's my daughter. Blood doesn't matter. Love matters. But now her mother wants custody, and I keep thinking, what if she uses that against me? What if she says I'm not Lily's biological father, so I don't have the same rights? What if... I couldn't finish. The fear was too big. Dr. Kim leaned forward. Do you want to know the truth? I pulled the paternity test order form from my pocket. I'd printed it 2 weeks ago, filled it out, never sent it. I'm terrified, I admitted. What if the answer changes everything? What if it doesn't? I looked at the form. 3 tests, 3 kids. I needed 3 days to work up the courage to mail it. But I did, because not knowing was worse than knowing. Had to be. The results came back on a Thursday. Marcus was with me. I'd called him that morning, said I needed backup, didn't explain why. He showed up with coffee and sat at my kitchen table while I stared at the envelope. Heavy bond paper, official stamps, the weight of truth. You don't have to open it, he said. I do. I thought about Lily, 4 years old. She'd asked me that morning to braid her hair for school. I'd done it wrong, again, and she'd smiled anyway, hugged me, said, thanks, Daddy. I opened the envelope. 3 reports, color-coded. Emma's was first. Probability of paternity, 99.9%. Jake's was second. Probability of paternity, 99.9%. Lily's was last. Probability of paternity, 0.0%. I read it again. The number didn't change. Combined paternity index, 0. Excluded as biological father. Probability of paternity, 0%. 0. Not low, not uncertain. 0. Marcus was reading over my shoulder. I heard his sharp intake of breath. She knew, I said. She had to know. I thought about Lily's birth 4 years ago. She'd held her mother had held her, and looked at me with those wide eyes and said, she's perfect, isn't it? Our perfect little girl. Our. She'd said our. While knowing, while lying. I need you to leave, I told Marcus. My voice sounded distant, wrong. I'm not... Please, he left, but not before putting his hand on my shoulder. Blood doesn't make you her father. You know that, right? 4 years of showing up makes you her father. The door closed. I sat alone with the truth. 3 tests, 3 kids, 2 mine biologically, 1 mine in every other way. Not anger, not betrayal, just love. Because Lily was mine in every way that mattered, in every scraped knee I'd bandaged, every bedtime story I'd read, every nightmare I'd chased away, every morning I'd braided her hair wrong and she'd smiled anyway. The DNA test said 0%, my heart said 100%. I called my lawyer. I need to file for formal adoption, I said, for Lily. I need it legal, permanent, unbreakable. That's going to require the mother's consent or termination of her parental rights. Based on abandonment, I have documentation, 365 days of it. There was a pause. You're sure about this? I looked at the DNA report, 0.0%. I've never been more sure of anything in my life. I didn't tell the kids about the DNA test. Not yet. They had enough to process. Their mother had been coming around more. Supervised visits at the family court building, a neutral third party in the room. The kids went because they had to. Came home quiet every time. How was it? I'd ask. Emma would shrug. Jake would disappear to his room. Lily would climb into my lap and say, "Can we have mac and cheese for dinner?" They were pulling away from her. I could see it happening. She'd text me, "Why are they so cold? Why won't they talk to me?" I didn't answer. She knew why. The 4th visit, Emma brought her journal. I didn't know until afterward. Didn't know she'd planned what happened next. They were in the family room at the courthouse. The supervisor, a woman named Patricia, sat in the corner. Emma asked if she could read something she'd written. "Of course, sweetie," their mother said, using the voice. The gentle one. The one that used to read bedtime stories. Emma opened her purple journal, the one with the worn corners, her handwriting getting steadier with each page. "A mom is someone who makes your lunch," Emma read. Her voice was clear, strong. "Dad makes my lunch. A mom is someone who hugs you when you're scared. Dad hugs me. A mom is someone who stays." She looked up, right at her mother. Dad stayed. Emma, "I'm not finished." 8 years old and absolutely fearless. "You left on a Tuesday. I remember because it was Jake's turn to pick the movie and you said you'd watch it with us. But you didn't. You were gone. You left a note. It wasn't even handwritten. You printed it. Like homework." Jake was crying now. Silent tears. Lily had her thumb in her mouth. Something she hadn't done in months. "You were gone for 365 days, Emma continued. "I counted, and in those 365 days, Dad went to all my soccer games, learned to braid hair, made us breakfast even when he was tired, held us when we had nightmares about you leaving." Her voice cracked, just once, then steadied. "You're not my mom anymore. You're just the lady who left." The supervisor stood up. "I think that's enough for..." "No." Emma wasn't yelling, wasn't angry, just done. "She wanted to know why we're cold. That's why. Because she's not our mom. She's nobody." She closed the journal, looked at her mother one last time. "Dad says we don't leave, and he's right. He never left. Not once. Not ever." Jake stood up, took Emma's hand, then Lily's. They walked out of the family room together. Marcus had been waiting in the hallway. He'd been recording. I'd asked him to for documentation. He showed me the video later. Emma's speech, Jake's tears, Lily's thumb in her mouth, and their mother sitting in that chair, realizing she'd lost them. Not in the legal sense, not yet, but in every way that mattered. They'd made their choice, and they chose me. The lawsuit arrived 3 days later. Rebecca Chen, my lawyer, Mrs. Chen's daughter, which is how small this world can be, laid it out on her desk. She's suing for full custody, Rebecca said, of all 3 children. On what grounds? Parental rights. She's claiming the separation was due to mental health issues, temporary insanity. She's saying she's better now and wants to resume her role as primary caregiver. I almost laughed. Almost. She abandoned them for a year. She's claiming you kept them from her. I have every text message, every ignored call, every visit she skipped. She blocked me, blocked her own children. I know. Rebecca flipped through the documents. There's more. She's asking for child support, back pay for the last 12 months. She wants me to pay her for the years she spent. It gets worse. Rebecca pulled out another form. She's asking for custody of Lily specifically. She's claiming you're not the biological father and therefore have no legal standing. The room tilted. She knows. About the DNA test? About Lily. She's known since birth. She used me. Used me to raise a child that wasn't mine, then left. And now she's using that same fact to try to take her away. Rebecca was quiet for a long moment. Then, do you have proof she knew? Just my word, and biology, and the fact that she never once suggested a paternity test, never questioned it, never... I stopped. I can't lose Lily. You won't. Rebecca's voice was steel. Here's what we're going to do. We're filing for termination of parental rights based on abandonment. We're filing for your formal adoption of Lily, and we're going to bury her in evidence. What evidence? Everything, every text, every ignored call, every day you showed up and she didn't. Every teacher, every neighbor, every person who witnessed you being a father while she was busy being someone else. She smiled. Actually smiled. She just handed us the case. The evidence came from everywhere. Mrs. Chen showed up first, with her logbook, a spiral notebook, blue pen, 365 days of entries. I've been watching, she said simply. She opened the notebook. Every single day logged 7:42 a.m., took kids to school. 4:15 p.m., picked up kids. 6:30 p.m., grocery run with all 3. 8 p.m., lights out in kids' rooms. Why? I asked. Because I knew she'd come back. They always come back, and you'd need proof. She handed me the notebook. You're a good father, better than your circumstances. This proves it. Miss Rodriguez, Emma's teacher, submitted incident reports. Every time Emma had a breakdown, every time Jake stopped talking, documentation of my presence at every parent-teacher conference, every school event, documentation of her absence. Coach Sam submitted attendance records, every practice I'd attended, every game I'd photographed, the times he'd extended practice so I could finish work calls, and how I'd thanked him, brought snacks for the team, shown up anyway. Marcus submitted his own documentation, texts between us, photos of him helping with homework, making dinner, being Uncle Marcus, a video diary he'd kept, not for this, just for himself, of the kids' progress, their healing. The school mom submitted a joint statement, 17 signatures, testifying that I'd been present, engaged, struggling but showing up while she'd been nowhere. Rebecca compiled it all into a binder, 3 inches thick, color-coded tabs, organized by category, financial abandonment, physical abandonment, emotional harm, witness statements, documentation of care. This, she said, is what custody cases are won on. Not blood, not biology, not who gave birth, but who showed up day after day, no matter what. She handed me one more document. This is her Instagram, screenshots, time-stamped, cross-referenced with her claims of mental health crisis. I scrolled through them, photos of her with him, vacations, restaurants, beach trips, happy, free, not depressed, not in crisis, just gone. By choice. She documented her own abandonment, Rebecca said. People always do. They can't help themselves. I thought about Emma's words. You're just the lady who left. When's the court date? I asked. 3 weeks, Judge Martinez. He's fair, tough, but fair, and he doesn't like parents who weaponize their kids. I close the binder. 3 inches of proof. 365 days of showing up. Let's finish this, I said. Have you ever had someone use your kids as weapons? If you have, you know this feeling. This cold clarity. This absolute certainty that you'll do whatever it takes. Not for revenge, not for vindication, just to keep them safe. To keep them yours. Drop a comment. Tell me, you're not alone in this fight. The courtroom smells like floor polish and anxiety. Judge Martinez sits elevated, looking down at all of us with the expression of someone who's seen every custody lie ever told. He's in his 60s, gray at the temples, reading glasses perched on his nose. Rebecca said he's been doing family law for 30 years, that he can smell bullshit from across the room. I hope she's right. Their mother sits at the opposite table with her lawyer, some guy in a suit too expensive for someone who claims to be broke. She's dressed carefully, conservative blouse, minimal makeup. The performance has already started. The kids aren't in the courtroom. They're in the advocate's room with a social worker, watching via closed-circuit TV. Emma insisted on watching. Jake and Lily don't understand why they're not in school today. I told them the truth. A judge needs to decide some grown-up things. They asked if they'd have to see her after. I said I didn't know. I don't lie to them. Not anymore. They've had enough lies. Judge Martinez calls the court to order. Her lawyer stands first. Your Honor, my client is a mother who made a mistake during a mental health crisis. She's sought treatment. She's stable now, and she's asking for the opportunity to rebuild her relationship with her children, children who need their mother. Simple, clean, sympathetic. I watch the judge's face. He gives nothing away. Then she takes the stand. The performance begins in earnest. She talks about her depression, her anxiety, how she wasn't herself when she left. She dabs at her eyes with a tissue. I notice she brought her own, pulled it from her purse like a prop she prepared. She talks about how much she's missed them, how she thinks about them every day, how she's been in therapy, on medication, doing the work to be the mother they deserve. It's good. I'll give her that. If I didn't know the truth, if I hadn't seen the Instagram posts, the bank statements, the text messages planning her exit 18 months in advance, I might even believe her. Rebecca lets her talk, doesn't object, just takes notes. I glance over. She's not writing down what their mother is saying. She's writing down what she's not saying. Then it's Rebecca's turn for cross-examination. Ma'am, Rebecca starts, voice pleasant, conversational. You said you think about your children every day? Yes, constantly. What school does Emma attend? Silence. I watch her face. See the calculation, the panic. It's been a year. I'm not sure if she's still at the same... She is, Rebecca says. What grade is she in? Second? Third? Third. She was in second when you left. What's her teacher's name? More silence. Ma'am? I don't recall. Rebecca nods, makes a note. What position does Jake play in soccer? He's 6. They don't really have positions. He's goalkeeper. Has been for 2 seasons. What's his coach's name? She doesn't know. Can't even guess. What's Lily's favorite color? Pink. All little girls like pink. It's yellow. Has been since she was 2. Rebecca flips through her notes. What time does Emma's school day end? 3 o'clock? 3:15. What's Lily's preschool called? Nothing. Ma'am, these are basic facts about your children's daily lives. You claim to think about them constantly, but you don't know where they go to school, who teaches them, what activities they're in, what they care about. Why is that? I've been absent. I admitted that, but I'm ready to learn. During the 12 months you were absent, how many times did you attempt to contact your children? Their father wouldn't let me. How many times? Rebecca's voice sharpens. Just enough. I tried. We have phone records, text logs. Your children's numbers were never blocked on your end, yet we have 0 attempted calls from your number to theirs. 0 text messages, 0 video calls, 0 emails. Is that correct? I watch her lawyer shift in his seat, He knows where this is going. I thought space was better. But you claimed earlier that you were kept from them against your will. Which is it? Did you choose not to contact them, or were you prevented from doing so? I was confused. Yes or no, please. I chose to give them space. Her voice is smaller now, the performance cracking. 365 days of space, while you were busy posting about your new life on social media. Is that correct? Judge Martinez leans forward. He's seen the evidence, the Instagram screenshots. But hearing it spoken aloud in his courtroom is different. Your Honor, her lawyer objects, this is badgering. Overruled. Answer the question, ma'am. She looks at her lawyer. He can't help her. No one can. Yes, she whispers. Rebecca sits down. No further questions. Then it's my turn. I walk to the stand, place my hand on the Bible, swear to tell the truth. I've been telling the truth for 12 months. What's a few more minutes? Rebecca starts gently, walks me through the day she left. The note, the missing money, the kids' reactions. I keep my voice steady, facts only. Emma in the advocate's room is watching. I won't fall apart, not here. Tell the court about the past 12 months, Rebecca says. So I do. The school runs, the therapy appointments, the nightmares, learning to braid hair, badly, but I learned. Burning dinners, getting better at dinners. Jake's first goal in soccer, Emma's straight A report card, Lily learning to write her name. I talk about Mrs. Chen's logbook, the school moms who included me, Marcus showing up every day. Not because they had to, because they chose to, because that's what family does. Mr. Johnson, Rebecca says, and I know what's coming next. We practice this, but practice doesn't make it easier. Can you tell the court about Lily's paternity? I look at Judge Martinez. He's watching me carefully. I am not Lily's biological father, I say. The words echo in the quiet courtroom. I discovered this through DNA testing 3 weeks ago. Probability of paternity, 0%. I hear their mother's sharp intake of breath. She didn't know I knew, not officially. Did you know this when Lily was born? I suspected the blood types didn't match, but I loved her, so I chose to believe what I wanted to believe, that she was mine. And now that you know for certain? I look at the camera in the corner, the one feeding to the advocate's room, where Lily is watching, where my daughter, because she is my daughter, is listening to me claim her. Choose her, again, always. She's my daughter, I say. My voice cracks, just once. Not because of biology, not because of a piece of paper, because I was there, every day, every night, every time she needed me, every time she was scared or sick or happy or sad. I wiped her tears. I chased her nightmares away. I braided her hair, wrong every single time, and she smiled anyway. I'm crying now. Can't help it. Don't try to stop. 3 weeks ago, I held a piece of paper that said 0.0%. And do you know what I felt? Not betrayal, not anger, just love. Because Lily is mine in every way that matters. What are you asking the court for? Rebecca asks. I'm asking to formally adopt Lily, to make legal what's already true in every other way. I'm asking for sole custody of all 3 children, and I'm asking that their mother's parental rights be terminated based on abandonment. Rebecca pulls out a document. Your Honor, the adoption petition has already been filed. It's awaiting your approval and the termination of maternal rights. She turns back to me. Why do you want to adopt Lily? You've been her father for 4 years already. Because I want her to know, I need her to know, that I choose her. Not because I have to, not because someone else left, because I choose her. Every single day, for the rest of my life. I look at the camera again. Lily, if you're watching, you're my daughter. Not because of blood, not because of law, because of choice. My choice. And I choose you. The courtroom is silent. Even her lawyer looks uncomfortable. Your Honor, I say, turning to Judge Martinez, I've submitted 365 days of evidence, phone logs, school records, medical records, witness statements, photos, documentation of every moment I showed up while their mother chose to be somewhere else. I'm not asking you to punish her. I'm asking you to protect my children because they've been through enough. Rebecca shows me one more item, the motif piece, the one we planned. What does "we don't leave" mean? She asks. It's what I told Emma the night her mother left, when she asked if I was leaving too. I told her, we don't leave. We don't abandon the people we love. We show up, even when it's hard. Especially when it's hard. We don't leave. I take a breath. Her mother left. I didn't. Marcus didn't. Mrs. Chen didn't. Coach Sam, Miss Rodriguez, 17 families from our community, none of them left. Because that's what family does. Real family. Found family. The family you choose and the family that chooses you back. No further questions, Rebecca says. I step down, walk back to my seat. Don't look at their mother. She doesn't deserve my attention. Not anymore. Judge Martinez calls for closing arguments. Her lawyer tries, talks about redemption, second chances, the biological bond between mother and child. Rebecca stands. Your Honor, the respondent is asking for custody of children she hasn't spoken to in 12 months. Children she can't name basic facts about. Children who, when given the chance to speak, made their position clear. They don't want her in their lives, not because they were coached, not because they were manipulated, but because she left them. She holds up Mrs. Chen's logbook. This is what custody should be based on, not biology, not blood, but presence, day after day, no matter what. The petitioner showed up every single day. He earned these children. The respondent abandoned them. And now she wants them back, not because she loves them, but because she's broke and alone and realized too late what she lost. She sits down. The evidence speaks for itself, Your Honor. We ask that you let it. Judge Martinez takes off his reading glasses, rubs his eyes, looks at all of us in turn. I've been doing this for 30 years, he says, and I've learned one truth. Biology doesn't make you a parent. Showing up does. Day after day. Good days and bad days. When it's easy and when it's hard, showing up is what matters. He looks at their mother. Ma'am, you made choices. You left your family for another relationship. You took $50,000. 47, her lawyer corrects. $47,000 from the marital account. You posted about your new life while your children cried themselves to sleep. And now, a year later, you want to come back because that relationship ended. That's not motherhood. That's convenience. He opens his file. I've reviewed the evidence, all of it. The text messages, the bank records, the witness statements. 17 people testified to Mr. Johnson's character. 0 people testified to yours. He looks at me. Mr. Johnson, I'm granting your petition for sole legal and physical custody of Emma, Jake, and Lily. The respondent's parental rights are hereby terminated based on abandonment. Supervised visitation is denied pending psychological evaluation, which must be completed at the respondent's expense. Their mother stands up. You can't. I can and I have. Furthermore, the adoption petition for Lily is approved. Final paperwork will be processed within 30 days. He bangs his gavel once. This court is adjourned. Rebecca squeezes my shoulder. Marcus, sitting in the gallery, grins. Mrs. Chen, who came to watch, who documented everything, wipes her eyes. I won. We won. The kids, my kids, all 3 of them, legally now, won. Their mother tries one last thing. We're in the hallway. The kids are being brought from the advocate's room. She sees them coming, sees Lily, moves fast, desperate, reaching for her daughter, except Lily's not her daughter anymore. Not legally, not in any way that matters. Baby, come here. Let mommy... Lily steps back, into me. Her small hand grabs my jacket. Their mother keeps reaching. A court officer steps forward. Ma'am, you need to step back. She's my daughter. Ma'am. The officer's hand goes to his radio. Warning. Emma moves in front of Lily. protective, 8 years old and fearless. Jake takes Lily's other hand. They form a wall, a barrier, the three of them choosing each other, choosing me. Their mother looks at them, really looks at them, and I see the moment she understands. She didn't just lose the legal battle. She lost them, their trust, their love, their willingness to give her another chance. She lost her children the day she walked out. The court just made it official. "Ma'am, you need to leave the building," the officer says. She looks at me, one last time. "You turned them against me." "No," I say quietly. "You did that yourself." She leaves. We watch her go. The kids don't cry, don't call after her. They've already done their grieving, already moved on. "Is it over?" Emma asks. "It's over," I tell her. "Can we go home now?" Home, our home, the one we built together, the one she's not part of anymore. "Yeah, sweetheart, we can go home." 2 weeks later, we throw a party, not a celebration, a gathering. The people who stayed, the people who chose us and who we chose back. Mrs. Chen brings lasagna, extra cheese, because kids like cheese. Marcus brings drinks and his terrible jokes that make Jake laugh until he snorts. Miss Rodriguez comes with books for the kids. Coach Sam brings soccer balls, the school moms who organized carpools, Mr. Peterson from the library, all 17 people who signed Rebecca's statement, our found family. We're in the backyard, sun setting, string lights. Marcus helped me hang last weekend. The kids are playing, actually playing, not the careful, watchful playing they did for months after she left. Real playing, loud and messy and joyful. Rebecca arrives last, brings an envelope. "Lily's adoption certificate," she says. "It's official. All three are legally yours now." I open it, see Lily's name, under Father, my name. Not in trust this time, not in hope, in truth. Emma appears at my elbow. "Can I see?" I show her. She reads it carefully, then runs to tell Jake and Lily. They crowd around me, all three of them, looking at the paper that says what they already knew, what they've known for 12 months, for 4 years in Lily's case. "We're all yours now," Emma says, "officially." "You were always mine," I tell her. "This just makes it legal." From my pocket, I pull out 3 small boxes. I've been waiting for the right moment. This is it. "I have something for you," I say. Open the first box. A necklace, white gold chain, small pendant. Inside the pendant, inscribed unbreakable. Emma gasps. "Is that—" "Your mother's wedding ring," I confirm. "I had it melted down, made into 3 necklaces, 1 for each of you." I hand them out. Emma's has her birthstone, Jake's has his, Lily's has hers. The ring represented something broken. I explain, something that was supposed to last forever but didn't. "But you 3, you're unbreakable. This family we've built, it's unbreakable. And I wanted you to have a reminder, something you can wear, something that says we survived. We chose each other, and we're never going anywhere." Lily holds hers up to the light. "It's pretty. Just like you," I tell her. "Can I put it on you?" She nods. I clasp it around her neck. Do the same for Jake, for Emma. They're crying now. Happy tears. I'm crying too. Marcus has his arm around Mrs. Chen, both of them misty-eyed. "There's one more thing," Emma says, runs inside, comes back with her journal, the purple one with the worn corners. "I wrote something for today." She opens to the last page, reads aloud, her voice clear and strong. Definition of family, people who stay. Definition of father, the person who stayed. Definition of love, we don't leave. We didn't leave. We didn't give up. We found each other in the broken places and we built something new, something better, something that can't break because it's not held together by blood or law or promises. It's held together by choice. Every single day we choose each other, and that's forever. She closes the journal, looks at me. "Is that okay?" I can't speak, can barely breathe. I pull her into a hug, pull all 3 of them in, my children, not because of blood, not because a court said so, because we chose each other, because we don't leave. Marcus starts clapping. Then everyone joins in. The found family we built from the ruins of what broke. Later, after everyone's gone home, after the kids are asleep in their beds, Emma and Jake in their own rooms now, Lily still in mine because she likes to hear me breathing, I stand in my kitchen. The same kitchen where I found the note 12 months ago, where the wedding ring sat for weeks before I could touch it, where I learned to make 3 different kinds of pancakes because each kid likes a different kind. On the wall, there's a new photograph. All of us, the whole found family, Marcus and Mrs. Chen and Miss Rodriguez and Coach Sam and the kids and me, smiling, real smiles, the kind you can't fake. Below it, framed in white gold, the last piece of that wedding ring is Jake's list, the one he wrote in crayon at 6 years old. People who stayed: Dad, Uncle Marcus, Mrs. Chen, Miss Rodriguez, Coach, Sam, Mr. Peterson, Milo, our dog, 7 people, plus 3 kids, plus everyone else who showed up when we needed them. That's 10 times more than the one who left. My phone buzzes. A message from an unknown number. I almost delete it. Then I see the preview. I'm sorry. I made a mistake. I delete it. Block the number. I'm done with apologies that come too late. Done with second chances for people who squandered their first. Done with guilt over protecting my children. We have a saying in this house now. 3 words that mean everything. We don't leave. I say it to the kids every morning when I drop them off at school. They say it back. It's our promise, our covenant, the foundation of the family we built from nothing. Upstairs, Lily calls out, "Nightmare." I head up, sit on the edge of her bed. She crawls into my lap, thumb in her mouth. She's 4. She's allowed. "You okay, baby?" "Bad dream." "Want to talk about it?" She shakes her head, snuggles closer. "Are you my real daddy?" My heart stops, starts again. "Yes." Even though she stops, she heard things in court, understood more than I thought. Even though, I confirm, "Lily, you're my daughter, not because of blood, because I choose you every single day for the rest of my life. Do you understand?" "Because we don't leave?" I kiss the top of her head. "Because we don't leave." She falls back asleep in my arms. I carry her to my bed, tuck her in, watch her breathe for a moment. This child who isn't mine biologically, who is mine in every other way, who I would burn the world down to protect. Tomorrow, I'll braid her hair. Get it wrong again, she'll smile anyway. Tomorrow, Emma will read me another journal entry. Jake will score another goal. We'll eat dinner together, maybe Mrs. Chen's lasagna, maybe my improving attempt at spaghetti, and we'll talk about our days. Tomorrow, we'll keep choosing each other because that's what family does. That's what we do. We don't leave. We never did. We never will. This is my found family story. The people who chose to stay when they didn't have to, when it was easier to walk away, when the mess was overwhelming and the future was uncertain. They stayed anyway. Drop your story below. Tell me about your found family, the people who proved that blood doesn't make family, choice does. The people who stayed when someone else left. Let's honor them. Let's celebrate the families we build from the broken pieces. Because at the end of the day, that's what matters. Not who gave birth to you, not who you share DNA with, but who shows up, who stays, who chooses you when they don't have to, who never, ever leaves.